Okay, so we are poised, ready for this final assault. I do just need to wrap up a few things with the dummy player at the end of the round before we carry on and refill the offer. So he's going to get this red advanced action in his deck, and also this white spell disappears. So he adds 1 white crystal to his card. He now has 2 blue, 2 red, and 2 green crystals. So no matter what cards are drawn, he is always going to be drawing 5 cards, which is quite nice. It means we can time our round pretty exactly. Refill the offer. Nice golems, some more scouts. Oh, and the Dalfana Masters, an amazingly powerful unit, but I don't think we're going to have any chance of recruiting them. Just to show them off a little. They have 3 armor, they're resistant to everything. They cost 13 to recruit, and this exclamation means they can only be recruited using influence. So the spell that we saw previously that lets you recruit a unit wouldn't actually work for them. And they have 4 abilities, and you can activate multiple of their abilities as long as you spend the mana. They can be really strong. You can stop an enemy from attacking, you can destroy a blocked enemy, reduce an enemy's armor by 5, and an enemy loses all fortifications and resistances. So they are an amazing unit to get, but probably come out just a little too late for us here. We need to re-roll the source. That's too many non-basic manas, although I would have preferred it over that roll. We already have 1 depleted gold mana, a blue and green. We refresh our units, but we will not be able to spend our Amatep freezers until we get them healed. Is this? Yeah, that's one of our skills. Okay. So we can recruit 1 extra unit, but I don't believe we're going to have the option. So let's see what we draw in our hand. Hopefully we get movement. As I said when we were wrapping up the last video, I would like to assault the city with the benefit of the extra cards, because we've got a hand size of 7 currently. Okay. But if we were next to our keep, we'd actually have 9, and we've got the movement that we'd need. So we've got the options: Long Night or Midnight Meditation. So this can be good for just shuffling a load of cards back into your deed deck. Long Night just gives you that extra little bit at the end. I'm not sure if we're going to need a Long Night, but let's go first. Go ahead of the dummy player. As I was saying, we know the dummy player will always be drawing 5, so he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then declare end of round. So we're not under a huge time constraint if we're going first, so we could get Long Night into effect. We've got the option with Crystal Joy to just gain an extra mana token if we wanted, because we could spend 2 or 6 movement and move around next to our keep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because it's night in the desert. But first we'd want to use the gem pouch, because we have less control over which coloured mana we get from that. So let's roll 2 dice for the gem pouch. Red and white mana. Yeah, so we'll spend 2, 4, 6 movement. We can use 1 die from crystal, from the source for Crystal Joy, and I think we use the blue here to actually gain a blue mana. we can get 2 blue crystals. Yeah, but we can get 2 green mana tokens. So that's pretty similar, but we know from our units we want blue mana. So let's take that. We can then discard another card from our hand if we wish to take this card back. But I think we're pretty well set. I don't want it clogging up our hand. Then we'll have just 9 cards ready to attack. So we discard these, re-roll the die for the source, red, and draw 3 for the dummy, but we know no matter the colour, he's drawing 2 more. So we have these. Move us around. 3, 6 movement. So we are adjacent again to our keep, increasing our hand limit by 2 because we have conquered 2 keeps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We've got a pretty good set of abilities here. If we're going to attack though, there'd be no reason why we wouldn't just take those 2 extra cards now. So let's take our green mana token. Different colour card so I know I haven't just spent it. And draw 2 more. Okay, excellent. So unfortunately we don't have access to any black mana currently, so we can't use the stronger effect of any of these spells. That would really be what would be best right now, but let's have a quick little puzzle as to what we might be able to achieve with the cards here as we have them. We'd need 2 movement to assault the city. Let's just assume we're using stamina. Promise is pretty much useless to us, but we'll likely ever, if we're going to use it, discard it sideways. So let's tuck those up down here. Focus mainly on these stronger cards. We do have the scout ability. We could once again peek at what this token's going to be, or potentially save it for that siege ability. This is probably going to be the toughest token because it's resistant to everything, but luckily it is only an attack of 5. So since it's not elemental, we'll probably look at blocking this unit. It would have a brutal effect because of the red city. So it would be 3 wounds if we didn't block it, but that's probably the best option. We can always come back for him later with a full hand of cards, try and get to his 14 armor. These are the units. This unit with swiftness, so it effectively counts as 6 ice, would be pretty hard to block, plus it has paralyze. Anything that any units assigned to block it would die. It's pretty bad, but we can get 7 siege attack fairly easily. We've got 4 ice siege from our mages, plus even without using an element, 3 siege here. We've got our 1 siege from the token and 1 siege here. With will focus, we can also power force of nature to become 6 siege. So altogether, the maximum siege we could get would be 1, 2, 6, 11, 17. That's quite nice. if we were to combine any of these resistance tokens together, they would share the resistance. So if we were to, for example, try and add these tokens together and defeat their 14, they would be both fire and ice resistance, which would cause us problems when our catapults are elemental. We could probably combine these two tokens though with 10 armor, which is resistant to physical and fire damage. We could look at 5 damage in ice form here, plus 4 damage in ice here, and 1 here, for a total of 10 ice siege. And they wouldn't be resistant to ice, so that would be enough to defeat them. This token then, we could defeat with our remaining siege. We can get 6 siege here, plus that all important 1 extra siege from our scouts. Yeah, that one extra siege, that's the only place we could get siege attack from, and it's coming in clutch there. Perfect. We don't need to remove any fortifications from them because of the amount of siege we've got. So we can ignore demolish. Chill, we could use to remove fire resistance from a unit, but that's not really a problem. Tremor is great to reduce the armor of all the enemies, but we don't really want to combine them, because then they'd be sharing resistances. But we could maybe look at armor -3 on these, and we'd only then need 8 damage. Can we get 8? Well, we've got Rage and Ice Bolt. If we powered up both of those, we've got 7. So it would be very easy then to discard Influence for 8. Yeah, I think we'd need a green, a blue, and a red mana to do that. But I don't see why not. Yeah, let's see if we do have enough crystals. That would be the main stumbling block here. So we've got green mana in the source. We can use to power Will Focus. That gives us 6 siege plus spending our scouts, 7 siege to defeat this token. I don't think we used improvisation, did we? Let's move that out of the way for now. We needed a two blue tokens, Ice Mage and the catapults here. So we do have 2 blue crystals. 1, 2, which gets us 9 Ice Siege plus this one for 10. Is enough, even combining these two together. Beat them. We just have this 1 token remaining. We needed another blue token to defeat them. So we're going to have to use one of our skill tokens here to flip this one to get a blue and a red token. Put the token down here with the green one we still haven't spent. That blocks him. We want to use Tremor with this green crystal to reduce his armor by 3. 4. And we can do 5. And then a red crystal. 9 to defeat him. 9 halved down to 4. What we need. And then actually we'll flip over our remaining token as well. Get the blue crystal and green mana token. Add the blue crystal to our bag. The green mana token we could use instead of using a die from the source to save one of our red crystals. That will let us defeat all 4 of those enemies without taking a wound, so long as we also use stamina for the 2 movement to assault the city. We'll have 3 cards remaining in our hand. Yeah, that's how you do that. Those 4 enemy tokens are destroyed. Let's work out our fame reward from these. We've got 15 plus 8, 84. And 7. We do lose 1 reputation for assaulting. We're going to gain 1 advanced action card and a skill. We've got the choice of our heal, or 1 from Tovak, Cold Swordsmanship. Alright, so we're going to get 1 final turn. So our choices would be whether we want to recruit perhaps the Delphine Masters, or do you think we could potentially kill this final adjacent dragon? I think we could kill that dragon, so we want to take Firebolt, and I think the heal. If we draw our other heal card, we could... No, we still won't be able to take those wounds. I don't think we have any wounds in our hand, but if we were to take Tovak's skill, we have to take Intimidate, which for the attack 7 actually not the worst. Yeah, let's take Tovak's skill and Intimidate. So that goes on top of our deed deck. We've now got the option with our skills, this way, to get 3 free attack every round. Hide away these spent mana tokens. The dummy player won't actually draw any cards from his hand because the game is effectively over. We just have 1 more round to wrap things up. It's not essential you remember that, but it will mean we've saved ourselves a few extra points, because you get a bonus for however many cards he has in his hand at the end of the game. Let's re-roll the mana die. We get black, so we will be able to use the strong ability of a spell. Tidy these used cards away. We had 3 left over. We are in the city and we can put 3 tokens on this space. We could spend 12 influence here to get an artifact, but an artifact's only worth 2 fame at the end of the game. Not the biggest thing, whereas this dragon that we're adjacent to, if we're able to defeat it, is worth 7. So let's see what cards we draw. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 2 because we're in a city that we have conquered. Okay, we did have a wound in our hand. In our discard, I didn't think we did, but there we go. So with this elusive ability, if you stop it from attacking, you still have to use the higher number. But what we could look at doing is blocking it and then destroy target enemy. We won't, actually no, saying that, we could use mana draw to set a die. We could set the die to black to get 2 black mana tokens and use both of these spells, one to stop it attacking and then in the attack phase just destroying it. This ability I didn't discuss, it's vampirism, and I believe he gets 1 extra armor every damage he inflicts. Let's just double check that. I believe that's a Shades of Tesla. An enemy with a vampiric ability has its armor value increased by 1 for the rest of the combat for each unit its attack wounds and for each wound it causes to be added to the player's hand. So yes, if you weren't blocking this, taking damage, it wouldn't be 16, it would actually be even higher. That can be really bad, but let's have a little look. We've got Shield Bash. We could easily block his attack. Fortunately, the green mana that's in the source isn't really what we're after here. I'm trying to kill it with using as little crystals from our source as possible, because they are worth points, but I believe using a crystal for mana draw to get the 2 black and then spending a red and a blue is probably our cheapest way. It uses 3 mana though. Our other option I think we could use, we've probably got enough attack 3, these 2 tokens for 3 attack. So if we were if we were to stop him attacking, we can just take him down. So no, we need to block him. That's what I was saying. Yeah, let's just use our spells and end with a bit of finesse. So we'll spend a white mana on mana draw to set a die to black. That gets us 2 black mana tokens. And we then need to use a blue and a red crystal. Power them up. One stops him attacking, and the other, during the attack phase, destroys the target enemy. Didn't need either of those skills. And that is him done. So we'll gain 7 more fame and 2 reputation, although we don't get any points for reputation at the end of the game, and also a skill token. This would have been useful. You can treat black as gold mana or gold as black mana. It saved ourselves a crystal or 2 if we'd had that earlier. Discard all of these and have a little look at our end of game score. So there's a few bonuses that you get, and it's all spelled out on another little handy reference sheet. So let me find that. Here we go. So for Conquest scenarios, co-op and solo, plus 10 per conquered city, so that's 20 fame we're going to get. And an extra 15 if all cities are conquered. So that's 35. Let's move our token from 114 to 14. And then add 35 on to 149. In co-op, there's extra if you split the cities between you. Plus 30 for each unplayed round. We are in that final round. One card remaining, one per card remaining in the dummy deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And plus 5 if end of round was not announced. Wasn't. Then you score the achievements, but you don't do the award for whoever has achieved the most, since you'll always get that in a solo game. So excuse me 1 second while I have a little cough. Okay, talking too much. So let's see what we have. Separate out our cards. Advanced actions, spell, advanced action. Quite a few spells. An artifact. Advanced action. Oh, we had 2 wounds. I don't know how I forgot about those. So we only had 1 artifact left in our deck. We did destroy 1. We destroyed 2 actually, I believe, didn't we? For their stronger effects throughout this. So greatest knowledge, 2 per spell. We have 3. That is 6 points. And 1 for each advanced action. We did buy a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We get 2 points for each artifact. We have 1 there for 2 points. And we have 4 crystals. So halved for 2 points. Greatest leader, we get points for the level of units, or halved if those units are wounded. So we have a level 3, 6, 7. And then this is a level 3 unit, so that's only 1 because it's wounded. 8. Then for conquered sites, and you can just add these together in a solo game. Any type of site you've conquered is 2 points, since you aren't working out the awards. So let's have a stroll down memory lane and work out how many sites we've conquered. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shields out on the board. That would be 14 points. And -2 for each wound. We had 2 in our hands, so we lose 4 points. That leaves us on 189 points, which is pretty good. That's a reasonable score for it, and hopefully I've avoided any glaring mistakes. Do leave a little comment. I can add a footnote if I have overlooked something. There's a few rules which, little caveats I think I mentioned as we were doing it about resistance on units also gives them arcane immunity. I hopefully remembered that at the appropriate times, and hopefully this was useful for you in seeing how assaults work and sort of how to pace a game through this solo conquest. Well, thanks for joining us along. Do leave a comment if you've got a suggestion for a scenario you'd like to see played through. As I say, I do have the expansions as well, so any scenario is good, and suggestions for which Mage Knight you wish to see played as well, go ahead and leave it down below. Cheers, and bye for now.